Let's start with the 1948 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent coin, a piece that holds a special place in both numismatic history and in the hearts of coin collectors. Despite the coin being over 70 years old, it continues to garner attention and high auction prices in its various conditions, even when it shows significant wear, rust, or lamination errors. In this section, we'll explore this coin's design, historical context, its mintage figures, and why even a bad condition version could fetch a remarkable price today. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Cent is part of the iconic series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. The series is famous for its portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the two wheat stalks on the reverse. While the design remained the same for most of the series, each year has its nuances and collectibles, and the 1948 coin is one of the most intriguing. The 1948 year marked a post-World War II period in the United States. The war had ended a few years earlier in 1945, and the country was entering a new era of rebuilding and economic growth. The Lincoln Wheat Cent of this era was produced at a time when the United States was enjoying an economic recovery. Yet the world was also witnessing changes in the coinage production processes, with World War II having impacted the metal alloys used in coins. At this point, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned to producing coins for the needs of everyday commerce. But this did not mean that coins like the 1948 penny were without their unique features. As is often the case with coins in circulation, errors were made during production, and some of these errors have now become incredibly valuable to collectors. The obverse of the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Cent features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The portrait is highly detailed, and it is known for capturing Lincoln's likeness in a dignified, thoughtful pose. However, it's important to note that in the case of the 1948 Lincoln Cent we're focusing on today, the lamination error is an especially crucial feature. A lamination error occurs when a layer of metal doesn't bond properly during the striking process. This results in what looks like peeling or chipping on the surface of the coin. In the case of a rust-like layer developing, this error can significantly affect the coin's appearance. Lamination errors are relatively common in coins minted during the mid-20th century, but they remain highly sought after by collectors because they are considered to be unique mistakes of the minting process. In particular, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Cent, with lamination errors and additional signs of wear, such as the rusty layer condition, is particularly interesting to collectors who specialize in minting anomalies. Even though the coin is in bad condition, collectors value it because of the rarity and historical significance of such errors. What makes these coins so highly valued is not just their unusual appearance, but the fact that only a limited number of these faulty coins were released into circulation. Many coins with these errors are pulled from circulation and melted down. As a result, coins with lamination or rust-like layers are often viewed as unique examples of coin production mistakes. They are highly prized among those who appreciate the imperfections that make these coins one of a kind. Now, let's talk about the market value of this 1948 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent coin. The value of coins like this can vary widely depending on factors such as the severity of the error, the overall condition of the coin, and the current state of the coin market. In bad conditions, such as when the coin features a noticeable lamination or rust error, the 1948 Lincoln Cent can still fetch significant amounts at auction. For example, a 1948 Lincoln Cent in rough condition with an obvious lamination or rust error could be sold for anywhere between $16,000 depending on its specific features and buyer interest. However, these prices can go much higher if the coin is especially rare or in a condition that makes it desirable to a particular collector. Even though it's in what many would consider a bad state, coins with such mistakes often attract bidders willing to pay higher premiums for the rarity factor. As the market for error coins continues to grow, the 1948 Lincoln Cent with lamination errors is a prime example of how imperfections can actually increase the value of a coin. Next up, we have the 2005 Kansas 1861 quarter dollar, which is also part of the 50 state quarters program. This coin was released in 2005 and commemorates the 34th state to join the Union, Kansas, which became a state on January 29, 1861. Kansas's coin reflects the state's agricultural heritage, along with its role in the American Civil War and its powerful symbolism as a gateway to the American frontier. Kansas, often referred to as the Sunflower State due to the sunflower, its state flower, became a state during a tumultuous period in American history. The state's admission into the Union came just months before the start of the Civil War. Kansas had been the site of intense conflict between pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions in what became known as Bleeding Kansas, a precursor to the Civil War. The state was pivotal in the struggle for freedom, and its entrance into the Union was a significant step toward the eventual abolition of slavery in the United States. The Kansas Quarter symbolizes not only the state's contribution to the nation's growth, but also its importance in the fight for human rights and its role in the American Civil War. The design reflects both the state's agricultural prosperity and its rugged, pioneering spirit. The reverse of the Kansas Quarter features a sailboat gliding across the river, with sunflowers framing the design. The sailboat is symbolic of the state's role as a gateway for settlers moving westward during the 19th century. Kansas was the starting point for many pioneers heading to the American frontier. The sunflowers in the background emphasize the state's agricultural identity, as the sunflower is a symbol of Kansas's rich agricultural landscape. At the top of the coin, we see Kansas inscribed, and at the bottom we have 1861, marking the year the state entered the Union. The obverse of the coin, like all state quarters, features the standard George Washington portrait, and the P mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The 2005 Kansas Quarter had a mintage of approximately 500 million coins, making it relatively common. However, the market value for this coin in fine condition is around $20,000, similar to the New Hampshire Quarter. As with the New Hampshire coin, the value increases for higher quality examples, particularly those in uncirculated or proof condition, which can fetch up to $23,000 or more. The 2005 Kansas Quarter is also sought after by collectors for potential minting errors. The most common error found on these quarters is a die crack or double die. But much like the New Hampshire Quarter, these types of errors can add significant value to the coin, sometimes reaching $30,000 or more, depending on the error and condition. Collectors are also drawn to the Kansas Quarter due to its strong agricultural symbolism and its historical significance in relation to the Civil War era. The coin's design, which commemorates Kansas's role in the westward expansion, appeals to those interested in the American frontier, as well as those who focus on state coins and specific historical events. The 2005 Kansas 1861 quarter dollar is another valuable coin from the 50 State Quarters program that collectors cherish. Its design, historical importance, and the state's role in shaping American history make it an essential piece for collectors interested in U.S. statehood or American history coins. While it may not be worth a fortune in fine condition, there are plenty of opportunities for collectors to find error versions or high-quality examples that could prove much more valuable in the future. Next up, we have the 1929 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin. Unlike the 1948 coin, the 1929 version is notable for its large date, and it is sought after by collectors in all conditions, even when circulated. In this section, we will break down the details of this coin, its historical significance, its design features, and why it remains valuable to this day. The 1929 Lincoln Wheat Cent falls under a particularly interesting period of U.S. history. The year was just before the Great Depression began to unfold in the United States. The 1920s were a time of relative prosperity, but by the time the coin was minted, the country was on the brink of economic collapse. In fact, the Great Depression would start just a year later, in 1930, forever altering the nation's economic landscape. The 1929 Lincoln Wheat Cent holds particular interest because it was produced at a time when coin collectors were starting to take note of specific year coins. The 1929 coin was part of the final stretch of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which would continue until 1958. Coins from this period are more likely to have been in circulation, making them more accessible to a wider range of collectors. Just like the 1948 coin, the design of the 1929 Lincoln Wheat Cent features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, along with the familiar 2 ears of wheat on the reverse. However, what sets the 1929 coin apart is its large date feature. The large date design was used for certain years of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, and this feature is a key differentiator for the 1929 coin when compared to other years in the series. The large date on the 1929 Lincoln cent makes it unique and highly desirable among collectors. The numbers on the coin are spaced wider apart, making them easily distinguishable from the small date variety. This design variation is one of the reasons the 1929 Lincoln cent is so popular in the numismatic community. The 1929 Lincoln Wheat Cent, in circulated condition, can still carry significant value in the market today, depending on its condition. A coin in relatively good circulated condition might fetch between $36,000 on average. However, those in better circulated condition or with unique features, such as a cleaner strike, could sell for much higher. A 1929 Lincoln penny with a large date and better-than-average circulated condition could see auction prices ranging from $37,000 depending on the demand at the time. If the coin were to be in very fine or higher condition, it could fetch several $100s. Like many of the most valuable wheat cents, the 1929 coin is more than just a representation of a time gone by. It's a piece of American history with a legacy that continues to be revered in the world of numismatics. Next up, the United States Commemorative Quarter Dollar Series, initiated as part of the 50 State Quarters program, has captured the hearts of collectors around the world. Each state quarter design celebrates a specific event or symbol related to that state's history, and Maine's quarter, released in 2003, is no exception. The coin commemorates Maine's admission to the Union in 1820 as the 23rd state. What makes this quarter especially valuable is not just its historical significance, but its design, which ties into the broader narrative of American independence and statehood. Maine's admission to the Union was part of the Missouri Compromise, which balanced the number of free and slave states in the United States in the early 19th century. This landmark moment in history is reflected beautifully on the coin. It features a majestic depiction of a pine tree, the white pine tree, which was integral to Maine's economy in the 19th century, and the outline of the state. The design embodies Maine's natural beauty and its role in America's history, making this quarter not just a piece of currency, but a symbol of pride for the people of Maine and a lasting testament to the state's heritage. In terms of collector interest, this quarter is highly sought after, particularly for those who collect state quarters or enjoy having a piece of early American history in their collection. However, what truly separates the Maine quarter from others in the series is its rarity, condition, and mint mark variation. The United States Mint produced over 560 million Maine quarters, but despite this high mintage, the value of this coin has remained strong due to its historical significance, appealing design, and the condition of individual pieces. Coins minted with the D mint mark, which indicates production at the Denver Mint, are the most desirable for collectors, especially in good condition. In today's market, the Maine 1820 quarter with the D mint mark, particularly in good condition, can command impressive prices at auction, ranging from $7,000 depending on the exact condition and demand at the time. The value tends to spike even higher when the coin is in better than good condition, such as very fine or uncirculated grades, and if it's part of a full collection of state quarters, the price can increase significantly. The design of the 2003 Maine quarter features a beautifully detailed white pine tree, a prominent symbol of the state's historical connection to the timber industry. The tree stands in front of a mountainous backdrop, with the word Maine boldly displayed at the top. This design encapsulates Maine's lush forests and natural resources, making the coin an instant favorite among both historians and collectors. As for errors, certain issues have been noted in the Maine quarter's production. Some coins from this series have been found with misaligned dies or incorrect strikes, which significantly increase their value. Coins with off-center strikes or double die errors are of particular interest to error coin collectors. If you happen to find a Maine quarter with such an error, its value can skyrocket to $9,500 or more. Collectors are drawn to the Maine commemorative quarter for its unique historical context and the stunning artwork that represents the state's heritage. Given that the quarter is part of the 50-state program, many collectors aim to complete the full set, which gives the Maine coin even more appeal. Additionally, the D Mint mark makes this specific coin even more desirable, as coins from the Denver Mint are often rarer and more sought after. As with all commemorative coins, the condition of the coin is key in determining its value. Coins in mint state, especially those with a pristine shine and well-struck details, fetch significantly higher prices. Those in good or fair condition, such as the one we're discussing today, still hold solid value, but will be at the lower end of the price range. Next up, the 2000 New Hampshire 1788 quarter dollar is part of the 50 state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This series was a monumental project by the United States Mint, designed to honor each of the 50 states with a unique commemorative quarter. New Hampshire's coin, issued in 2000, stands out due to its historical significance and the fact that it was the first state to join the Union in 1788. New Hampshire's historical background is integral to understanding the significance of this coin. The state was pivotal in the founding of the United States, being the ninth state to ratify the Constitution on June 21, 1788. This made it the first state to officially join the newly formed Union, solidifying the United States' path toward becoming the nation we know today. The coin's design and symbolism reflect New Hampshire's deep ties to the founding of the country, making it a significant part of the quarter program. The historical context of New Hampshire's statehood provides a compelling backdrop for collectors and historians alike. The state played a major role in the American Revolution, and its ratification of the Constitution was critical in securing the future of the United States as a unified nation. The quarter commemorates this important moment in history, and for collectors, it serves as a reminder of the state's crucial role in shaping the nation's future. The design of the New Hampshire 1888 quarter was created by artist John Flanagan, who was also responsible for the famous design of the Washington quarter. The reverse of this coin features a granite ledge with a tree growing from it, symbolic of New Hampshire's famous Granite State nickname due to its rocky terrain. The tree represents the state's natural beauty and its connection to the earth, while the granite ledge reflects the state's enduring strength and resilience. In addition to the tree and granite ledge, the coin also features the state motto, "Live free or die," which was adopted in 1945 and reflects New Hampshire's strong tradition of independence and liberty. This phrase encapsulates the state's spirit and serves as a reminder of its fierce commitment to freedom. At the top of the coin, we see New Hampshire inscribed, while the bottom reads 1788, marking the year the state joined the Union. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, which has been standard for all U.S. quarters since 1932. The D Mint mark, located near the bottom of the obverse, indicates that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. mint facilities. When it comes to the mintage numbers, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter had a total production of 1.4 billion coins. This number might seem large, but it is important to remember that not all coins produced end up being valuable. Over time, collectors have focused on the higher quality versions of these quarters, and those in excellent condition are the ones that truly see an increase in value. As for its market value, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is typically valued in fine condition at around $9,000. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated or proof condition, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is typically valued at around $10,000. Value could increase significantly, reaching up to $12,000. Coins with specific errors or unique features, such as double die errors or misprints, can fetch significantly higher prices. Like many other coins in the 50 state quarters program, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is often sought after by collectors for its potential errors. One of the most notable errors found on this coin is the double die reverse, where the design on the reverse side of the coin appears doubled. While these errors are relatively rare, they can increase the coin's value significantly, sometimes pushing it into the hundreds of dollars range depending on the severity and quality of the error. Another factor contributing to its collector interest is its appeal to those who collect state-themed coins, or coins with historical significance. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter, due to its symbolism and the historical context behind the state's role in the founding of the nation, is a popular coin among collectors who focus on American history or state quarters. Collectors are also attracted to this coin because it represents a key moment in the history of the 50-state quarters program, marking the turn of the millennium and the beginning of a decade-long celebration of the United States' history and states' individuality. To wrap it up, the 2000 New Hampshire 1788 quarter dollar is an essential coin for collectors who are passionate about American history, state representation, and rare U.S. coins. Whether it's the unique design elements, the historical context, or the potential errors that could make it even more valuable, this coin holds a special place in the world of numismatics. As a fine-condition coin, it may not command an extremely high price on the market, but it's sentimental in history. Next up, the 1952 U.S. Abraham Lincoln. Wheat 1-cent coin is part of the famous series of pennies that were minted between 1909 and 1958. The design of these coins, featuring the image of Abraham Lincoln, was the first to depict a U.S. president on the obverse of a coin. Created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this design quickly became iconic and has remained one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The 1952 penny was minted during the early years of the post-World War II era, a time when the United States was experiencing both economic recovery and significant technological advancements. Although there was no major shift in the design of the Lincoln wheat cent in 1952, this coin is interesting because of the unique characteristics that can set certain versions apart. And today, we'll be focusing on the most valuable 1952 penny with a special and rare condition. The 1952 Lincoln wheat cent had a total mintage of over 1.1 billion coins, with most of them produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This high mintage means that the 1952 penny is generally common, and most of the coins from this year are not considered highly valuable. However, when you add specific attributes like a damaged mint mark, you're dealing with a coin that attracts a lot of attention. Now, what makes the 1952 penny, with a D-damaged mint mark in dirty condition, particularly valuable in the auction market is its rarity and the curiosity it creates among collectors. The D-mint mark itself indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, but it's the damage to the mint mark that sets it apart. In a normal 1952 Lincoln penny, the D-mint mark is clean and clear, but due to various production anomalies, some coins come out with mint marks that appear damaged, which happens when the dies are worn out, or when there's an error in the minting process. When a coin such as this has the mint mark appearing smeared or altered, it can significantly increase its collector value, especially for those looking to add rare error coins to their collections. Additionally, the dirty condition of the coin, while it might reduce its aesthetic appeal, can sometimes make it more appealing to collectors who specialize in coins that have not been cleaned or altered, as this original state helps preserve the historical integrity of the coin. Coins like these, despite their imperfections, still capture the attention of enthusiasts and collectors alike. The market for rare error. Coins like this. 1952 penny is strong, with auction prices for such coins ranging anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the level of damage to the mint mark and the overall condition of the coin. In particular, a coin like this may fetch anywhere between $20,000 to $58,000 or more in the right market conditions, depending on factors like demand, collector interest, and the coin's provenance. The interest in error coins is immense, and this 1952 penny with a damaged mint mark in dirty condition is no exception. Error coins are often highly sought after because they are seen as unique, offering a glimpse into the minting process and the occasional imperfections that occur in mass production. These errors can significantly increase the value of a coin because they are so rare, and collectors love to add them to their collections to tell the story of coinage history. For collectors of the Lincoln wheat cent series, the 1952 coin stands out as a key date to watch for in various conditions. But when it comes to error coins, such as this one with the damaged mint mark, the level of rarity and the potential for profit is particularly high. The dirty condition of this coin, while not ideal for some collectors, actually makes it an even more interesting piece for those looking to preserve the coin's authenticity and original state. In terms of collector interest, the appeal of the 1952 damaged mint mark penny can range across a wide spectrum of enthusiasts. From casual collectors who enjoy finding rare coins with stories, to seasoned numismatists who specialize in minting errors and die anomalies. As more people become aware of this specific coin's value, it continues to attract interest in the market. The 2008 New Mexico Quarter is part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state was honored with its own quarter design, and New Mexico's coin represents the state's rich history and cultural legacy. The New Mexico State Quarter was released in 2008, the final year of the series. The design of the New Mexico Quarter was chosen through a public competition, and it reflects the state's deep connection to both Native American and Spanish heritage. New Mexico became the 47th state in the Union on January 6, 1912, which is why the date 1912 is featured prominently on the coin. The New Mexico Quarter was released alongside the other states' commemorative quarters, which had been highly anticipated by collectors, as well as the general public. The quarter marks a major milestone for both the state and the U.S. Mint, concluding one of the most popular coin programs in American history. The design of the 2008 New Mexico Quarter is a striking representation of the state's unique history and landscape. The quarter features an image of the Zia sun symbol, a sacred symbol for the Zia Pueblo Native American tribe, surrounded by the majestic mountains and the iconic desert landscape. This imagery reflects New Mexico's diverse natural beauty and cultural heritage. Prominently displayed on the reverse of the coin is the Zia sun symbol, which has been a symbol of the state of New Mexico since 1923. The sun symbol is made up of a circle with 4 extended lines, symbolizing the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. This is an important emblem in the Native American culture of New Mexico, and its inclusion on the quarter emphasizes the spiritual significance of the state's indigenous peoples. Above the symbol, the inscription New Mexico appears, along with the state's founding year 1912, as a reminder of the momentous occasion when New Mexico became the 47th state to join the Union. On the obverse, as with all quarters, the standard design features George Washington's portrait, along with the "In God We Trust" inscription Liberty and the mint mark at the bottom, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. In terms of mintage, the 2008 New Mexico Quarter was struck in high numbers, with over 600 million coins produced in total across all mint facilities. However, even with such high mintage figures, the value of these coins can still vary significantly, especially in higher grades or unique conditions. The value of the 2008 New Mexico Quarter in fine condition is approximately $10,000 in today's auction market. However, collectors should note that quarters from this series can go for much higher prices in certain circumstances. For example, coins in uncirculated or proof condition can fetch significantly higher values, especially if they are part of limited sets or have unique features like errors or overstrikes. The 2008 New Mexico Quarter with the D mint mark Denver has garnered particular interest in the market due to its relative scarcity compared to other quarters from the same year. Collectors looking for quarters from this mint mark may find this particular coin to be a highly desirable piece in their collections, especially in higher grades such as fine and very fine condition. One of the factors contributing to the value of the 2008 New Mexico Quarter is the potential for errors or unique variations. Errors on the reverse design, such as double strikes or minting defects, can increase the coin's value significantly. For example, if you find a misaligned die error or struck-through errors, those coins can easily sell for $17,000 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Collectors have shown a keen interest in the entire series of 50 state quarters, and New Mexico's coin has a special place among these collectors due to its symbolic representation of the state's culture and history. As part of a comprehensive collection, a well-preserved 2008 New Mexico Quarter can hold significant value, particularly for those seeking to complete a full set. The coin's historical context, coupled with its unique design elements, continues to make it a top choice among collectors who are passionate about commemorative coins and the stories they tell. Next up, the Maryland 1788 Quarter was released as part of the same 50 state quarters program, which spanned from 1999 to 2008. Maryland's design commemorates its important role in American history, particularly its connection to the nation's founding. Maryland was the 7th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution in 1788, and this event played a crucial part in the establishment of the United States as a united, functioning nation. The coin, therefore, symbolizes Maryland's pivotal role in the creation of the United States and its lasting impact on the development of American law and governance. The design of the Maryland quarter features a graceful image of the state's iconic black-eyed Susan the state flower, which blooms vividly in the state's meadows. This coin was designed to showcase Maryland's natural beauty and to reflect the state's commitment to the Union. The inclusion of the date 1788 on the coin connects it directly to Maryland's historical significance and the founding of the United States, marking it as an important commemorative piece in the state quarter series. The Maryland quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver facilities. The P mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While the mintage of the Maryland quarter was substantial, it wasn't as high as some of the other state quarters, which makes it somewhat more scarce. In fine condition, the Maryland 1788 quarter with the P mint mark can be found at auctions and dealer shops with values typically ranging from $20,000 depending on its condition and market demand. Like many state quarters, the Maryland coin can fetch higher prices when in better condition or when it has been certified by a reputable grading service such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or Professional Coin Grading Service. In top-tier grades such as MS 65 or higher, the value of this quarter can reach over $50,000. The Maryland quarter features a detailed rendering of the black-eyed Susan, which is Maryland's state flower. The flower is shown in full bloom, with its characteristic yellow petals surrounding a dark center. This design captures the beauty of the flower, making the coin a highly collectible and visually appealing piece. The phrase Maryland is prominently displayed on the coin, along with the year of the state's admission to the Union, 1788. Error coins are always highly sought after, and the Maryland quarter is no exception. While not as common as some other error types, certain examples of the Maryland quarter have been discovered with misprints, including off-center strikes and double-die errors. These error versions can command premium prices. For instance, a double-die Maryland quarter has been known to fetch upwards of $500 or more, depending on the severity of the error and its condition. Collectors are often drawn to state quarters due to their rich historical significance and stunning designs. The Maryland 1788 quarter is no exception. Maryland holds a special place in the history of the United States, and collectors appreciate the artistic rendering of the state flower. The fact that this coin represents a pivotal moment in the formation of the United States also adds a layer of historical value that is appealing to both novice collectors and experienced numismatists. For those who are passionate about the state quarter series, the Maryland coin is often a key piece in completing their collection. The rarity of the coin, combined with the importance of Maryland's historical role, makes this coin a valuable addition to any serious collection. As with all collectibles, the condition is paramount. Coins in fine condition are still valuable, but those in excellent or mint condition can often fetch higher prices, especially at auction. Next up, the 1942 U.S. Abraham Lincoln. Wheat 1-cent coin was minted during a time of great transition in American history. The United States was in the midst of World War II, and while many resources were being diverted to support the war effort, the mint continued its operations. The 1942 penny is an important part of this era, symbolizing the period's economic and political challenges. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series had already become an iconic part of U.S. currency by the time the 1942 coin was produced. The large date variety of the 1942 penny is particularly notable for collectors, as it features a distinct date that is easier to identify due to its larger size compared to other pennies in the same year. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Cent features the same design that has been associated with the series since its inception in 1909. Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. However, the 1942 penny is special for 2 reasons: its status as part of the large date series and the particular characteristics of the D mint mark. This penny, like many others from the year 1942, was produced in enormous quantities to meet the demand during wartime. The total mintage for the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Cent was around 1.1 billion, with the Denver Mint striking a significant portion of these coins. However, certain variations like the large date and the D mint mark make this coin stand out among the millions produced. Now, What makes this 1942 penny with a D mint mark and red color shade so interesting is the rarity of its condition. The red color shade refers to a coin that still retains much of its original copper luster, which is an important factor in determining the overall market value of a coin. The more vibrant and original the red coloration, the higher the value in the eyes of collectors. In terms of market value, the 1942 large date penny with the D mint mark and red color shade can fetch quite a bit of money. Although the coin was minted in massive quantities, coins in pristine condition, especially those that have retained their red coloration, are highly sought after by collectors. This coin can range in price from a few $100s in average condition to several $1,000s for those that are in near-perfect condition. Collectors of Lincoln wheat cents, particularly those who focus on the 1942 large date variety, are willing to pay a premium for coins that have the D mint mark and the distinctive red color. In auctions, especially those that attract high-end collectors, these coins can see prices rise sharply. In fact, a coin in near uncirculated or mint state condition could sell for as much as $55,000 or more. Much like the 1952 penny we discussed earlier, the 1942 penny with a red color shade in dirty condition has a unique appeal to collectors. Although some collectors may shy away from dirty coins, others seek out these pieces for the stories they tell. The red coloration is particularly desirable because it preserves the coin's original appearance, and coins with such coloration can command higher prices at auction. Additionally, the 1942 large date with D mint mark is one of the most famous varieties of the Lincoln wheat cent series. This makes it a cornerstone in many coin collections, and collectors are constantly searching for these rarities in all conditions. The interest in minting errors, unique color shades, and specific varieties only increases the coin's value over time. Have you ever found a valuable wheat 1 cent in your collection? Next up, the 2002 Tennessee quarter is the 16th coin in the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, commemorating Tennessee's admission to the Union as the 16th state on June 1, 1796. Released in 2002, the Tennessee quarter is one of the most beloved coins in the series due to the state's rich historical heritage and deep connections to both American politics and culture. The release of the Tennessee quarter was a highly anticipated event, as Tennessee played a pivotal role in the early years of the United States. Known for its importance in American music, particularly country and bluegrass, as well as its influence on the nation's founding history, Tennessee's quarter reflects the pride of its people and their contributions to the United States. The coin's design captures key elements of the state's identity and historical significance, making it a sought-after piece for collectors, especially those interested in coins representing the southern states and the cultural impact they've had on the U.S. The reverse design of the 2002 Tennessee quarter is a beautiful tribute to the state's heritage. It depicts a fiddle and a musical staff, representing Tennessee's importance as the birthplace of country music. The fiddle, an iconic symbol of the genre, is paired with musical notes flowing from it, illustrating the state's deep connection to the development of American music. Above the image, the quarter bears the word Tennessee, along with the state's founding year, 1796, proudly displayed beneath the fiddle. This design is particularly fitting given the state's historical ties to the rise of American music, from the early roots of bluegrass to the global influence of Nashville, the Music City. The obverse of the coin features the standard George Washington portrait, along with the inscription, "In God We Trust Liberty," and the mint mark, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, at the bottom. Like the New Mexico quarter, the 2002 Tennessee quarter was produced in large quantities, with millions of coins minted at both the Denver and Philadelphia minting facilities. However, what sets this coin apart is its enduring popularity in the market. The 2002 Tennessee quarter with the D mint mark in fine condition typically holds a value of around $15,000 depending on its exact condition. Coins in higher grades, such as uncirculated or proof, can fetch considerably higher prices, especially if they are part of a limited set or have significant collector interest. Collectors often seek this quarter for its musical theme, which makes it a unique addition to a commemorative quarter collection. As part of the 50-state quarters program, the Tennessee quarter is highly sought after, and in some cases, coins with unique characteristics or errors can sell for much more. As with all commemorative coins, there is the potential for errors to drive up the value of the 2002 Tennessee quarter. Common errors include double die or misaligned die strikes, which can make a significant difference in the coin's value. Coins that display these errors or have other minting defects are of particular interest to collectors looking for rarities and unique pieces for their collections. Beyond errors, the general collector interest in Tennessee as a state with a rich historical and cultural heritage, especially in the music industry, adds to the appeal of this quarter. Many collectors value the 2002 Tennessee quarter not just as a piece of currency, but as a representation of the state's deep cultural significance. Next up, the 2007 Washington, 1889. Commemorative quarter dollar is part of the 50 state quarters program, one of the most iconic and successful coin programs in U.S. history. Launched in 1999, this program was designed to honor each of the 50 states with their own unique quarter design, minted in the order that each state entered the Union. The 2007 quarter specifically commemorates Washington, the 42nd state to join the Union on November 11, 1889. This quarter is part of the last year of the 50 state quarters program. The Washington state quarter showcases the beauty and historical significance of the evergreen state, with a design that celebrates its natural resources and rich history. The reverse side of this quarter features an image of a salmon leaping out of the water, symbolizing the abundant wildlife and natural beauty of Washington. The salmon is framed by lush mountainous terrain in the background. The word Washington appears prominently on the coin, along with the date of statehood, 1889. The P mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. The obverse features the standard George Washington design that has been used on the quarter since 1932. Washington is depicted in profile with liberty inscribed above, and in God we trust below. The year of minting is also shown on the obverse. The mintage of the 2007 Washington quarter was a significant one, with over 160 million coins being produced for circulation. However, in terms of collector value, the rarity of this particular coin in good condition with the P mint mark adds an intriguing aspect. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in determining its market value. Coins in good condition tend to be less valuable than those in higher grades like extremely fine or uncirculated, but the rarity and collector interest in specific mint marks can influence its worth. In today's auction market, the value of the 2007 Washington 1889 with the P mint mark varies significantly based on the coin's condition and the collector demand. In good condition, you can expect the coin to fetch anywhere from $18,000 at auction. While this may seem modest compared to other commemorative quarters, it's still noteworthy considering the coin's historical context. For coins in higher grades, such as uncirculated or mint state, the value can skyrocket. Coins in MS-67 grade or above have been known to fetch upwards of $19,000 or more in certain auctions. The true value, however, comes from the rarity of the coin in specific conditions, the demand for this particular mint mark, and the specific collector interests driving up prices. Though errors are not as common with modern coins, they can still be found, adding to the intrigue of this quarter for collectors. Some of the most sought-after errors include double dies or misstrikes, where the image on the coin is not correctly aligned. These types of errors can increase the value of the coin significantly, with some error quarters fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on the rarity of the mistake. The collector interest in the 2007 Washington 1889 quarter is rooted in both the love for the 50 state quarters program and the appeal of commemorating Washington state's statehood. Many collectors focus on acquiring quarters from specific states, often concentrating on limited mintage years like 2007 as the last year of the program. Have you ever found a valuable commemorative quarter in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting!